Welcome back, guys, to the Round Pegs Square Holes podcast. You're listening to it here first in the FTEN X Academy. My name's Timothy Fair-Matthews, and tonight we have Sridhar with us. He is a CEO of Accelerating Freights and Services Company, and he has had an organization based in Dubai for many years. And the organization is into providing freight forwarding, project cargo, and other logistic solutions. In 2014, he reached the lowest point in his life, landing himself into a debt trap. And he had only two options, either to call it quits or to bounce back. He chose the latter, and there was no turning back after that. It's at that point he discovered his passion for motivational speaking, training, and coaching in 2016, and has ever since pursued it and has now turned it into a labor of love. He's a certified behavioral styles expert, Think and Grow Rich expert, representing Napoleon Hill Foundation in the Middle East, and a professional networker. The topic of tonight is Think Your Way to Riches, which I think a lot of people are going to want to know how to do that. Sridhar, thank you so much for coming on, mate, and giving us your time in the podcast. How are you?
Hey, Tim. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. And
No
I'm
worries.
good. I'm good. I'm great. I'm awesome. All by God's grace.
I think it's appropriate to mention that you just told me before the chat that your nephew used to call you the bundle of positivity.
Yes, in fact, he used to taunt me with that because, in fact, in my WhatsApp name, instead of Sridhar or Sri, I used to have bundle of positivity. And
Amazing.
that's the level of positivity I used to carry myself in, and I still do. Yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, positivity is so important right now. I know we had a coffee the other day, and you were saying that everything is down to mindset. And I think a lot of other speakers on this group that have attended have said it's all down to this. So,
Absolutely.
being positive is immensely important, and I know which you'll explain as the talk goes on. So, anyone who's just joined, just feel free throughout the talk. If any questions come to mind, just put them in the comments box. We will get to them towards the end of the talk. So, I mean, I've given a little background on you, Sridhar. I think it would be only appropriate to tell us how obviously what started you off in business. Let's talk about the freight company, and then if you don't mind, I'd love to kind of hear your story about the 2000. It was 2014, wasn't it, where you had that the worst time in your life? I think because we've got a resilience theme going on in here, and if you don't mind, I think it would be amazing just to share how you managed to pull yourself out of that. So. Yeah, give us a little bit of background where it all started.
Okay, so I can't just give a little bit of a background. I have to give quite a bit of a background. So let me start and with my upbringing.
Yeah,
I'm the youngest in my family, so of four siblings, and my father and I have an age gap of 42 years. So he's 42 years older than me, and so. As much as I was loved by everyone at home and cared, I was not heard, being the youngest. So it was like, okay, my opinion or it didn't really was heard. It was not mattered. So that's how I grew up. My parents were amazing. My dad was always ensuring that we had a great life and very hardworking. He not just brought us up as four siblings, but he had the extended family of his siblings and their children and all to kind of like an umbrella. He took care of all of them. Now, he wanted me to become a chartered accountant, so I pursued that for a year, and somehow I felt that that's not my cup of tea. And in 1992, I told him that I would like to join this industry, the shipping and freight forwarding industry, all because he had a customs brokerage, small customs brokerage business going on. And I saw him struggling all by himself. So I said, I want to lend you a hand and I want to be with you. And literally, I joined him and he left me in pursuit of something else, in pursuit of some social community work. So I literally had to learn the tricks of the trade from grassroots levels and come up that way. Now, my destiny brought me to Dubai in 2001, and I continued to be in this industry, and I still am in this industry. 28 years now, I have got the experience of being in this freight and logistics industry. I have my own business now since 2009. Initially, for 3 years, I started with a partner and then had to move on. And in 2012, we started in Dubai on our own again. Now, the thing is, as an entrepreneur, when my journey began in 2009, and then again in 2012, I was like any other entrepreneur who never even thought of having a coach or a community. I just thought that I could pull it off myself. I didn't have a proper network. I used to just go from home to office, office to home. Somewhere in 2012, I joined a professional structured networking forum here. And I was just living my life and running my business on a trial and error method, making mistakes, loads of mistakes, learning from those mistakes. I wouldn't say I was really driven. I thought that I can hire people and they would do the job. So I started hiring people. Things were actually going on well, but then it was not on a very strong foundation. So one fine day, I found myself in trouble. The trouble was because of not one reason, I would say various reasons. The reasons were probably I was not financially literate. I took some wrong decisions in that area. It was also that I was just, when things were going right, I was just like, it's going to be that this way all the time. I was like in that mindset. And a few other factors of not really knowing how to run a business properly. And all these mistakes and these decisions that I took, I suddenly found myself in 2014 in July in a mindset where I was like, I was in a dead trap. I didn't know what to do. We were, in fact, my wife and me, we were contemplating, sitting and thinking of all the dire possibilities in front of us. And one of those options, of course, was to bounce back. And it was just one of the options, not the only option that it was going through our mind. But here I would like to add something. As much as I realized all this, we realized all this in July 2014. In January 2014 was the first time I came across the movie The Secret. I watched that movie. It impacted me a lot. A lot, I can't say how much. It was probably like the turning point in my life. It, for the first time, made me realize that I have done nothing in my life. I have just been running a life which is completely filled with mediocrity. And I've come to a stage where I've spent 44 years of my life and realized that I just wasted it. One thing led to the other. I came across this book, Think and Grow Rich. So I started reading that. So if you can see, in July 2015, I found myself in a very bad situation. And already from January, February, I was building up something in my mind which is going to prepare me how to bounce back. Can you see the thing in terms of I was in trouble? I realized that, but already before that, I was starting to somehow prepare myself. It was coincident or law of attraction or whatever you may call it.
It makes you think, like, if you hadn't almost, I mean, there's no way you would have known, but it's almost like what would you have your life ended up like if you hadn't had seen that beforehand? It almost makes you think.
It's like you're going to jump off somewhere and you're already put the mattress down so that you don't crash. You knowingly or unknowingly, you've prepared a net that when you fall, that net is there to take care of it. So I had prepared myself knowingly or unknowingly in coming across that movie, that book, and started reading it, all that.
So how bad was it then? So when in 2014 in July, what was the actual issue itself with work? What did you almost close down? What was the problem?
No, it didn't close down. That's the beauty of it. We didn't close down. So my revenues had completely dried up, and I had a huge amount of overhead every month, plus a loan to my credit cards, my loan, everything were full.
Oh no.
Yeah, and we were literally having sleepless nights and sitting in the night and midnight and thinking of what can we do. So the good thing is, of course, and we had on top of that, we had two grown-up children, sons. So we both decided, husband and wife, that we will bounce back. So this is at night, we are sitting and discussing, and we have made this decision in our mind. Okay. The next day, in my email, in my inbox, one email comes in, which gives me hope, which is like, there's so many emails we all receive that this program, this training, this product you buy, so many things come. But that email was specifically called the unsinkable. And I
Okay.
opened that. That product was worth $199. It said, go to the website, pay $199, and you get the whole program.
Unsinkable or unthinkable?
Unsinkable.
It's unsinkable. Okay.
And I didn't even have, for even $199 to spend, I had to think a lot. I really had to think a lot. It is a huge amount.
Well, yeah, it's a massive commitment when you're in that dark space,
Yes.
because you almost feel like you want to hold on to it.
Absolutely. So we both actually discussed, should we go ahead or not, and we went ahead with that. That program gave me a few things to work on in terms of my mindset. It gave me affirmations, it gave me meditations, it gave me hope, it gave me messages that strengthen my. It's mostly everything to do with mindset. Nothing
Right.
strategy, nothing telling me that if you do this tomorrow you'll get $1 million or whatever it is. Nothing, not that way. It's just
Right.
strengthening my mindset. And on that, we started working with that and then started focusing on our business and how can we get more clients and start turning around the business. I would say in less than a year, in about say 9 months, we added 75 clients.
Oh my God! Wow,
Yes.
that's
And
amazing.
yes. And again, now one thing leads to the other. In 2015, this is what I want to culminate my whole journey as the first question. In 2015, March, my dad passed away. He was bedridden for 3 years, immobile. He had diabetes, he had his leg amputated, and 3 years he was reliant on other people to help him move around. And little by little, his leg was amputated from right from the ankle to the, like, and I was in Dubai running this so-called business of freight and logistics, not being able to go there and spend time with him.
Yeah.
If I even had to think of going there to spend time with him for 2, 3 days or a week, it was as if, how can I leave my business here and go there? I had suppliers knocking on my doors. I had to go to client meetings. I had to ensure cash flow. I had to look after the operations. It was a massive decision to go to it. And even if I went for 2, 3 days or a week, it used to be like, let me attend to this bank work. Let me look at that the tax issues or meet those friends, relatives, and very little time with him actually. So when he passed away in March, that was a big blow for me. Like it made me introspect. What kind of a life am I leading? What kind of business am I running? Which doesn't give me that freedom to spend time with my loved ones or do what I love doing.
That's really
In
sad,
fact,
mate. I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, thanks. In fact, probably you, the viewers, or whoever I know are there, may relate to this. That whenever someone very close passes away, we kind of get into that introspective mode of questioning our life, our journey, and what
Yeah.
are we into? What are we actually
Yeah.
doing? Is it
Yeah.
meaningful? So I started questioning, and by July, in 3 months' time, 3 to 4 months' time, I came up with a life purpose. We did a vision board. I wrote down a few words came to my mind. I put down a life purpose, and I put that life purpose on the vision board. Started reading it morning and evening. And this life purpose is what I wrote down. I'll share with you. I see myself inspiring millions of people through my books, public seminar, and personal coaching. Deal with stress and lead a healthy, successful, and purposeful life. This was my purpose, life purpose, and I put it on my vision board. Tim, I had no clue how I'm going to do that. I just put it out there. Forget about millions. I didn't even know how I'm going to impact the life of one person. I said, no, no, nothing to worry. I have to come out of this mediocre life of the day-to-day running around, and I have to inspire other people around me. Because in Dubai, those times, a lot of people were under stress. A lot of people were running those so-called business, which they had no clue about how they are running and had no personal life. So this happened in July 2015. And in 2016, February, I had a talk with Phil of Ascentive. And finally, I decided to sign up with him and join his community and coaching. Now, that was the first time I thought of investing in a coach and a community. And the amount of money that I committed myself to, for a person who, it was like millions for me that time, although it was
Yeah,
not
no, I'm
that,
sure.
because I was still bouncing back and I had a lot of challenges, so financial challenges. So even that amount that I signed up with him was like, uh, probably people would think 100 times. Why should I? Is it even possible or not? I would just went ahead.
Yeah.
I have always been guided by my intuition, and it has always become stronger and stronger in giving me the taking me in the right path. So I signed up with him. I joined the coaching and community with him. Within 2 or 3 months, midway through the program, in one of my networking session, a person comes to me and says, "What are you doing these days? I believe you joined some community and coaching." I said, "Yes, I've joined Center." "Oh, I know about that program. I also want to do it, but somehow, uh, he said, I'm not able to get Phil's accent, so I'm not signing up with him. I don't want to sign up for a program where I don't understand the program and I just innocent." So that gave me an idea. So there are people out there who may not connect with Phil for who he is or not understand his accent.
Mm.
Honestly speaking, because he is
No, but
unique,
it's true.
in
It's
a
true.
way
Yeah.
he is. That gave me an idea, and I approached Phil. Phil, would you mind if I took the franchisee? I would like to hear more about that. And that I thought could be my first step to my life purpose, which is to help other business owners put a method to the madness.
But determine that life purpose. Did that stem from? I mean, what moment did that stem for? Was it from the time that you read The Secret, or you paid that program? Like, when did you know that you wanted to help others?
After my dad passed away. Between the
Right.
period March, my dad passed away, and July, when I actually wrote down the life purpose, I was constantly questioning myself, what kind of a life am I leading? What kind of a business am I running? Is it really worth it?
Mm.
Is it really worth it? If I
Yeah.
continued the way I am, where do I see myself? Is it really a meaningful life? So when I constantly kept myself in that zone and asking myself, and I was driving down one morning to the networking meeting, and these words came into my mind. So I gathered a few friends, and we all sat down together and on a Friday in my office to make our vision boards, to work on
Mm.
our vision boards. And that is when my vision board had this life purpose.
I mean, I mean, I wanted to. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm making. If I ever look away, I'm making notes. I've got like a load of questions here that I want to ask
Please.
you. But the vision. First of all, let's just go because you just mentioned the vision board. I don't actually have one, but I've been meaning to make one for ages. But I'd love to kind of know what your thoughts on how important that is. Anyone listening, anyone who's got a vision board, let us know what's on it. I'd love to kind of hear that. But if you haven't got a vision board as well, please also let us know. But you said something about it which really stuck out for me. You said you had no idea how to get there. Is that the point of a vision board? Is that it does need to be so macro that you don't really know like how to get there? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
Okay, so this is kind of into the main topic of the this evening. So if you see, most people don't know what they want. Most people. Most of the times, everyone is praying and wishing for what they don't want. I hope my quotation, is not rejected. I hope my job application is not rejected. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope this doesn't happen. I don't want this to happen. If you see, most of the time, people are dwelling in that region of what they don't want instead of what do you want. The question that people need to ask themselves all the time is, what do I want? And when they ask this question to themselves, it should not be like, oh, I want plenty of money. Oh, I want a good life. Oh, I want a good job. No, that doesn't have a meaning. What has a meaning is a very specific thing as to what do you want. Put it specific. Now, when you're putting that in specific terms, don't worry about the how. How am I going to get there for the moment? That's exactly what I did. When I put down the life purpose, I just wanted to see something and focus on something every day, morning and evening, to keep me inspired in that zone to go for something much bigger than what I'm living currently. That's it, to start with. If you don't want if you're not happy with your life and business right now, the level at which it is, then write down what level would you want to take it to that will make you happy. Don't worry about when and how and right now. Just write down first. Then put down the date as to when would you like to see that happening. Just ask you, when would I like to have it? And then basic thing is to start dwelling on it morning and evening. Read it. Remind yourself. Because when you remind yourself of it morning and evening, the meetings that you have the whole day, the opportunities that you will come across, the people that you will meet, you will find that kind of falling into the slot of what you actually want. It will somehow
it's like if you stub your toe in the morning, you have a bad morning, and then it just makes the rest of your day bad. I guess it's a similar kind of process, isn't it?
Well, you don't have to believe that way that if you stub your morning, you can just call it superstition or if you can change that. You can change that by thinking, okay, this just happened by chance. It's an accident. Let me now do something to bring my mind back to focus on something more positive. So,
amazing.
Yeah. So morning and evening, when you are reading it, two things happen. Number one, you are sending that message daily to your mind, which reaches your subconscious mind. We'll elaborate a little bit on that a little later. It will reach your subconscious mind. And second thing that happens is, most of the people are wishing and wanting for things. They say, I wish this happens. I wish that happens. They dream. What is more important is to have a burning desire. As a child, have you ever desired for something very badly, like an obsession, and went after it and got it?
A Game Boy.
Yeah, it could be a Game Boy.
I got a Game Boy. I really wanted a Game Boy, and then I got one. It was magic. I think Santa brought it.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear of anything else, right? You just wanted that in your.
But I remember actually printing a picture off of it and sticking it in my room. So it's like, I guess that's like a vision board, isn't it? I mean, obviously my mum got it for me, bless her. But I mean, it's true. Like, I suppose so technically I have had one vision board in my life, technically, but it was just of one thing, very specific, as you said.
Absolutely, bang on. So once you become obsessed with something, you walk with it, you talk with it, you eat with it, you sleep with it, that level of burning desire it becomes, then everything that you do after that, the meetings that you will have, the people that you come across, knowingly or unknowingly, will be kind of connecting to that dot and taking you there.
Amazing.
It's like
I'm certainly going to try it. If I've not been convinced to do one, I'm going to do one after this talk. I promise you. I'll send you a picture. You can hold me accountable to it. All right.
Certainly.
We've had a comment here saying I made my vision board with Sridhar's help a month back, and it's greatly helped me. I don't know who posted that, but I mean, it's nice to know that you work with people to create it as well. So I might pick your brain one day, Sridhar, and just get you to give me your feedback on it.
Happy
anyone who ever needs Sridhar's help, just feel free to tag him. He's in the groups, he's in the community. So there's one thing you just mentioned about, I'd love the fact that you said you manifest on this in the evening and the morning, because I guess obviously it top and tails your day. There's one thing that I know you haven't mentioned, and I think a lot of people would need to know, is that you have a very interesting community which you're also a part of that involves the morning, don't you?
Oh yes, absolutely. If you would like me to share the history of it in terms of how it began and what it is.
Well, I think it kind of sums it up in the name. So what's it called?
It's the 5 a.m. club.
That sounds like a horrific time. I don't know if anyone's keen for the 5 a.m. club. It sounds very inspirational, but off-putting at the same time. 5 a.m. Why 5 a.m.? Why not the 6, 7:30 club?
Oh, why not 10 a.m.? Why not 11 a.m.? Why not? So the whole thing is, firstly, 5 a.m. club, most people around the globe know it as something which Robin Sharma came up with
Okay.
many years back. Now, the thing is, we all know lockdown started somewhere in middle of March or third week of March. And what happened instantly, probably for most of us, was our complete structure of the day went haywire. The evenings became late. We used to probably like watch Netflix or play games with family or talk to them, chit chat, late dinners, and then going to the bed late and waking up in the morning late. And then because it's work from home, we can just work from anytime, just wake up, brush your teeth, and start working, checking emails and whatever. So for the first few days, my schedule went that way as well. I started going to bed late, waking up late. Now, I didn't like it, to be honest. I didn't like that schedule going haywire. So I wanted to do something about it. And one day when I was doing my prayer and meditation in the morning, this idea came, why not start a 5 a.m. club?
Right.
Where not only could you get back that is, I'm telling myself, you could get back your routine into the place, and you can probably form a community where you can help people, other people also, to get their routine in place and benefit them. So what I did was, the first thing, I didn't even do any structure or anything about it. I immediately did a video of the concept of what I'm planning, and I shared it in a small group of people, business owners, where there are like about 20 people.
Right.
Do you know? I thought first, let me start with this group of 20 people and ask them who is interested.
Yeah. Let's float the idea. See if anyone like throws
Yeah, exactly.
like thoughts at you and stuff.
Two people, two people showed interest. Two people came back to me, said, "We are in."
Wow. Okay.
Out of which only one joined.
Right.
So I was not happy. I said, "How can I just start a community with three people? That is two of them and me one, and one of them dropped out. So it's just two of us." Then I went to social media. I went and posted in LinkedIn. I posted in Facebook. Then I got response. I got about 10 people showing interest. So then I sat down and created a structure. I didn't want to keep it too long. I said, let me keep this for like about 30 to 35 minutes, not more. I don't want to kind of hold on people for a long time early in the morning, because morning time is very personal. It's very, it's a golden hour. We call it golden hour. So I created a structure which is about 30, 35 minutes.
Right.
And we started on the April 18th to meet online and Zoom at 5 a.m. We had 13 members as founding members in the first day. In the first week, the weekend, by the way, we meet all 7 days, including Fridays and Saturdays. So the first weekend, we had 22 people. Okay. And then we reached a peak of 60 people. We had 60 people joining every morning for a few days, for a couple of weeks. And then it is now averaging at 30 people. Every day, 30 people from Bahrain, from UAE, from India, one or two from Sri Lanka come and from India and Sri Lanka, it's not 5 a.m. for them, but then they just join for the structure of the routine, what we do and how it's impacting their life. A handful of people.
I feel like I need to apologize to you right now, because I've asked you to do this talk so late. You're probably very tired.
Oh, no. I'm fresh.
You're fresh?
Yes.
So you've been up since 4:15 this morning. And you're still going strong. I mean, yes. Goodness me. If that's not positivity, and if that doesn't sell it, I don't know what does. That's amazing.
So see, what happens is the body clock gets adjusted very after a few weeks.
Yeah.
Your body starts recognizing the time you go to bed, time you wake up, and how your day, if it is rhythmic in the flow, it starts behaving in a particular pattern. And that's what it is all about. Getting your body to work in a systematic manner along with your mind and everything around.
Amazing. We got one of your followers here, Umesh here, part of your 5 a.m. club. Amazing and life-changing experience.
Okay, so wow. Umesh is one of the founding members, like 13 people in the first day. And we have done like now, I think about 110 days or 108 days now. And he has been 100% attendance, like he's got 100% attendance, attending each and every day. Yeah.
Amazing. We've also got another fan here, so help me transport. You got a lot of fans in the group already. I'm loving it. It's really, really good.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
one of our celebrities already. So I'm gonna move you on. I mean, because I've got lots of things I want to talk to you about. So we've mentioned the secret, mentioned the 5 a.m. club, we mentioned the vision board. I'd love to kind of circle back to the book, your turning point, the Think and Grow Rich, which is kind of like the key kind of inspiration for the title of this talk. So, I mean, you've told me a bit about it, and obviously, I'm sure there'll be some people listening that haven't heard of this book. So, tell us a little bit about how you, first of all, came across this and why you've decided to be you're the representative for the Middle East, aren't you, for this franchise? Is that right?
Yeah, I will share with you the journey. So, as I said, I watched the movie Secret in 2014, and that movie and the people in that movie, the speakers, the authors, they actually are a big follower of this book, Think and Grow Rich, and they promote this book. So when I started following some of the speakers and authors after the movie, I started following their YouTube videos and stuff like that. I came across this book, Think and Grow Rich, and I went to the store here and bought a very small, tiny copy, something which is lowest price. I didn't want to invest in something which I find that because in the topic itself, we said think and grow rich. How can someone think and grow rich? Come on, it can't be that easy. Just think and grow rich. So I didn't want to.
But it is that easy, isn't it? Anyone tuning in, you can think your way to richness. So you're gonna tell us how, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, certainly. I will come to that. So good. I was skeptical and I invested in the cheapest book, which was available here. I went to the DCC and bought it from there. Now, once I bought that book and started reading, it told me that the best way to get the most out of this book and to read it is to form a small group of friends, get them together, like-minded people, and read it together as a group, not just alone. So what I did was immediately, I bought a DVD of the movie Secret. I bought a few more copies of this book from the store. I reached out to a few friends. I said, I would like all of us to get together at someone's place and watch the movie first. Then I'm going to introduce you to the concept of Think and Grow Rich book. So we saw the movie first. We were about 4 or 5 families at one of the friends' place. We watched this full movie Secret. They were impressed. Then I introduced the book. I said, I bought a copy of this book for each one of you. Why not let us meet every week and start reading this book? Everyone are like, wow, let's do it. Fantastic. Then we started reading. We used to meet at a friend's place. Slowly, after a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, it started becoming more of a pizza party where, okay, since we are meeting, maybe as well have dinner, or maybe as well order some pizza, maybe have some coffee or tea. So after a couple of months, I didn't really was not liking the idea because it's turning into a pizza party more than actually reading the book. And some of the friends.
It sounds a very cool party, though. My kind of party, for sure.
And it so happened that some of the friends used to I can't make it today, so you guys carry on, and it happened like that. Finally, there's just one more friend of mine, my wife and me, the 3 of us, we actually finished reading the book. The others all dropped off. And after that, nothing much happened. I just read the book. I started, as I said, I started focusing on my bouncing back. Some of the concepts in this book I started applying. I started saying affirmations. I intensified my faith in myself, my skills, and we'll come to the concept of infinite intelligence and started focusing on how can I turn my life around. And that just happened. That's all. Later on, in 2018, that is about 2 years back, I actually came across this Napoleon Hill Foundation. So Napoleon Hill is the author of this book, and there is a foundation in his name, Napoleon Hill Foundation in the US, where I came to know that they are certifying instructors. They are certifying people on this book and how people can get themselves the knowledge as well as then go to the next level of becoming instructors and trainers and teach other people these concepts. So I began on the journey in 2018. And just recently, during the COVID times, I finished my course 2 years. It took me 2 years. I finished my complete course. And then I had a discussion with them, and they were happy to sign the Middle East license with me. So I signed the. So again, 2 years back when I started my journey on this certification, my goal in my mind was to get the Middle East license as well. It was not just to get certified, and that happened. And during this COVID time,
So
so that's
tell us some tips from the book then. So what can you share? I mean, obviously, I would encourage, and I'm going to read this myself. But what things have really helped you in that book that you can share with us in terms of advice that your biggest takeaways, so to speak?
okay. So the first thing which I would ask you, like, because you say you're going to read this book or listen to the audible, is this book is not like a storybook or any other book where you can just run through it, read it from start to end, and just this book is like a very intense book.
Right.
The best way, as the book itself suggests, is to form a group of people whom can read and share the ideas. Some of the things mentioned are a little complex. Uh, so some people read it several times to get the idea as to how what this book is actually conveying. So I don't want to be discouraging you. This is not for discouraging you. The whole thing is like, because I've read it a few times and I know how it felt the first time when I read it, I was more confused than actually getting clarity. Yeah,
Okay.
you can ask anyone who's read the book first time.
Yeah.
I would probably not come across someone who has read a few chapters very fast and go, oh my God, I can't get this. I need to read all the chapters again from the start. Most people do that, and it seems like when you start off, it's a very simple thing. Let's just quickly read and go through the chapters, and then you realize, oh my God, is I need to go back and start from the first. Now, about some tips from this book. Let me ask you something. What do you mean by rich? Are you rich, Tim?
I would define rich. I mean, I consider myself rich. I think I think you're rich in two things, really. Well, three things: health, company, and knowledge. So I would say you're rich already. But have I just ruined the book, or am I way off? You tell me.
You're very much in line with the thoughts.
Oh, cool. That's good. So I've made a good start already. Maybe I won't be as confused. Let's see.
No.
I'll let you know how confused I am after I listen to it or read it.
Yeah. So exactly. So most of the people who initially buy this book are those who are in probably financial
Distress. Yeah.
and distress.
Yeah.
Thinking that this book would probably help them immediately to get rich. Once they start reading and they finish the book, probably then they realize the depth of this book. That although this book talks about how you can accumulate financial riches, it is not actually just that. The essence is far, far more than just that financial riches. In fact, there are 12 riches in our life. You mentioned three.
Oh,
There are
really?
12
So, okay. Wow.
There are 12 riches in our life that we can all introspect and come up with as to where we fare, how we fare in these areas on a scale of, say, either 1 to 10 or 0 to 1 to 100. It's up to you how you want to rate yourself. 12 areas. Then you will realize that you're far richer than what you actually probably think.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming back, the essence of the book is basically it conveys a system of self-development. It put down some rules. If you follow those rules, you will become successful and rich. You just have to follow the rule, and it adds up like mathematics. How you follow the rules of mathematics, you will get a successful answer to a solution to the problem. Same like that, when you follow the rules given in this book to the T, you're just going to end up rich in life and in financially in all the areas. in a
I
very
mean,
short way.
you kind of did this, didn't you, when you were in 2014, when you, like you said, you put your last dime into this program. I mean, we had Ramez Helou. He's also in the Incentive Network like you, and he always says, if you, rather than filling your pockets, if you fill your mind, your mind will fill your pockets. And it's the same thing, isn't it? It's going back to the mindset. It's everything that's in there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You can't be rich down there if you're not rich up there.
Absolutely. And to add to that, Tim, provided you are using that knowledge, you're not just accumulating the knowledge.
Yeah.
You're putting the knowledge to use.
Mm.
And when I say coming back, the key principle or what it starts with this book is it asks you, what do you want? The question that I asked you earlier in the program today. What do you want? How badly do you want what you want?
Yeah.
You said most people will not wake up at 5 a.m. and join the 5 a.m. club. Yet everyone wants a life which is like really peaceful, smooth, and filled with happiness and prosperity. But most people are not willing to do what it takes them to do to get what they want.
That was you prior to 2014, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I have no shame in accepting
mediocre living, I think, is the thing you said. I'm not quoting you to it, but I think
living, no direction, just kind of leading a life of probably like assuming, in a very simple term, directionless.
Yeah.
Thinking small achievements as huge achievements and patting myself on the back, thinking as if that's a big victory. I don't need to do anything much more than that. So, as I said, the key principle is to be driven, realize or know what you want, and be driven towards it. So once you are driven towards it, your mind is always busy going after that. So you are attracting thoughts, attracting people, attracting solutions to that. So most of the people, they don't know what they want. So they are filling their minds with anxiety, worries, fears, thinking what the future holds, they don't know. So if you see, that's where the whole thing lies, where if there's one thing we all have control on is what do we fill our minds with? You have the power and you have the control to fill your minds with the thoughts that you choose. If you do not choose the thoughts that would automatically come usually would be negative thoughts.
Interesting. I suppose like that stems in everything, doesn't it? It goes from your news feed to what you read, to what you watch on TV, to the friends you hang around.
Absolutely.
To the people you work with. Yeah, that's really good. Wow, big, amazing advice there. Thank you. One of the things that we just have a little question just popped up just now. I think it's appropriate to probably bring it up. Sabrina said, what do you consider to be your biggest accomplishment in your career? I mean, you're very big on the coaching. Has it been that? Because I mean, you've got to also let's not fail to recognize here. You've got a business that you completely turned around. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But what would you say is your biggest accomplishment to date?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I have a long way to go. I don't want to say I have accomplished a lot. Yes, I have been successful in accomplishing small victories. I have a long way to go, and I would like to remain focused on my journey and be happy with what I have achieved till now, not satisfied with where I am. I want to achieve more and I want to go a long way. Yes, as you said, one of the accomplishment has been to get control on my life now, on my thoughts, where I'm headed, what I'm doing, turn around my life and business. And the freight and logistics business that I'm running, I still have it. And it is running literally on its own with a very minimal involvement of me. And even through these COVID periods of this last, since January till now, by God's grace, we have run a profitable business, paying our team workers, team members, their salaries on time, the full salaries without any reduction or deduction, and paying our suppliers on time. So that is something I would consider. I'm grateful for what's been, how life is and how things are moving on. And adding to that, being able to grow strength on my coaching and speaking life, starting with Ascentive, and today adding this Think and Grow Rich thing. And I've just begun on this journey. I have a long way to go, and I'm really happy and grateful how things are coming. One interesting point I want to add here, Tim. Sorry, you were about to say something.
No, it's fine. You continue.
The freight and logistics business that I have, it's a small group. We are a very small team of 4-5 people only. In the last 2.5 years, I don't have a single salesperson. I don't do any sales, and my business has been growing 30 to 40% every year.
What's the secret?
The secret. Watch the movie Secret, read the Think and Grow Rich, and just focus on building relationship and helping other people. And so
it was actually one of my questions I was going to circle back to. I was like, I mean, we're forgetting here. You've got a business you've automated somehow, stepped away from, and it's doing better than it was, a few years ago when you were fully invested in it. I mean, that's an amazing achievement. But the secret, going drilling into. Sorry, I'm picking here quite much of this. You think it's all centered around relationships?
Absolutely. I use a lot of what I've learned in Ascentive, and I keep teaching in Ascentive. Something that I must mention here is also my wife Vidya has been a backbone in my journey. She has been very supportive. In 2000, initially in all these years, she was involved in the freight business a lot. And 2018, finally, I could give her a break and said, you focus on your passion. She found her labor of love and passion in becoming a health and fitness coach. So I gave her a break. I said, no need for you to come to the freight and logistics business. You go and follow your passion. And I started grooming my team to be able to handle the company on their own, so that I could follow my passion as well on the side of training and coaching and speaking. So you spoke about the relationship building. Yes, I have people. I have built relationship strategically with people who are referring me clients on and off locally. And I changed my whole strategy because we are a global freight forwarding company. I built strategic relationship with people around the globe, so that I focus more on business coming in from the worldwide, global, globally from the other countries than locally from here.
It's the 80-20 rule, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what you're doing. You're focusing 80% of your effort on the 20% of the 80%, like the 80% of revenue clients.
I say about 7 to 8 inquiries that come out of every 10. 7 to 8 inquiries I reject. I say no. I don't want. Wow. So we focus all our time and attention on the clients and the kind of people that we want to work with. Where people don't mind paying a little more to us, they are focused on quality. They want to focus on their business, and they let us help them with the logistics. And they say, you take care of it. It's not our expertise.
Great reminder.
I mentioned to you yesterday, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't want to get into something which I'm not expert at. I would rather give it to you or someone else, not get into wasting my time in that. Let me focus on making more money so that I can pay other people who are supporting me in the journey.
Relationships. Let's talk a little bit about. I'm very conscious of time because I know we're approaching the hour. So, guys, any last burning questions? Please pop them in the comments because we're on the tail end of this talk now. But I would like to kind of focus a little bit on Ascentive. So you've recently become a certified coach there. I'm an Ascentive member. And I know some people in the community are also an incentive member. Obviously, it's a community based here in Dubai. I'd like to know a little bit more about it from your side and what you are doing with it and just how you feel it benefits people. Because I think you've also mentioned it was a big factor to you turning around as well. So, so share us a little bit about that.
Okay. So as I mentioned, I took up the franchise in 2000, end of 2016, and I went to the US, got trained in the whole program and the coaching and everything, including behavioral styles program. I came back. I started my info sessions and my training sessions. So I do exactly what Phil does in terms of building my community, filling it up with people who entrepreneurs who are like-minded, want to get hold of their lives and businesses, and I do the same things like train them through the Ascento Pro and make them part of the community. So it's growing. It's I've put some about 20-25 people through the training in the last couple of years or more, and we have a community of. Actually, I started my community just a year back. We have about 10 members in there, and it's building up now.
And what do you do? What do you do in the community?
So it's a mastermind community. We spend 3 hours every month, one meeting every month, where the business owners basically uh, come there to work on their life and business. They come there to study where they were a month back, where they are now, where they want to be in the next month, and what is their challenges, what are their victories, what can they do to support each other, engage and grow. So that's the whole thing, working on their business. Because the whole month, we're all working in the business by running around sales, operations, and cash flows, and this and that. Hardly do we have the time to kind of gather our thoughts and see, introspect where we are and where we want to be, and all the stuff. So those 3 hours per month is for that.
I mean, I think it's a very important point to like really drill on there, guys. Anyone watching, I don't know if you do this, but I mean, taking an opportunity every week or two to sit back and think macro and work on you or the business is something I know I wasn't doing enough of. And it's, amazing when you do that. It's very easy to get caught up in the day to day. Oh, I've got to earn money. I've got to earn money. I've got to earn money. But remember, when you're working and you're earning money on that hour, you're not scaling. Yeah. You're not growing. You're doing, and you're earning, but you're not growing, are you? So, yeah, big one. So, I mean, so a sense of community and education. There's a whole education part to it as well, isn't there? So there's a lot of mentoring, and there's a lot of like things you can learn in Incentive Pro. That's right as well, right?
Tim, just want to add there. If there's any business owner watching, entrepreneur watching this show right now or anytime later, all they need to ask themselves is, there are so many times during the day, during the week, during the month, that they find themselves lonely because of all the pressures that get to them and the thought process. And there are so many things that they cannot share with everyone around them. And how can everyone make all the mistakes? There are so many mistakes that you can learn from who the others have made. So that's what the mastermind community is for. Like, you come there, you don't feel lonely. You feel that there are other business owners there with whom you can share your challenges, learn from other people's mistakes. So that's the whole idea. So yeah, and you have experienced it yourself.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think anyone who's interested in the program, feel free, even if you're listening to this on iTunes, please join the FTEN X Academy.com Facebook group on Facebook. Tag in Sridhar or Phil in the comments, and you can learn more about Incentive. But yeah, I highly recommend it, and it's great to see you satisfied. Lots of feathers in the cap for you at the minute. I don't know how you juggle it all, if I'm honest, but that's great. It's great to hear. Well, I'd love to, I think it's only, again, just to kind of wind up the talk, I think it's only appropriate we bring your wife back into this, because you said something really nice earlier. You said that she's been a huge backbone for you. And you mentioned obviously earlier as well that you're like a power couple. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, how important is it to try and spark and integrate this kind of relationship with your loved one? Because I mean, I don't know many people that do work together, but you guys are very closely connected with your goals and like what you're aiming for, and you guys support each other. And you spoke very highly of her yesterday. So tell us a bit about how that dynamic works.
So we both found ourselves in 2014 in the wrong end of life. Of course, it was mostly our own creation. Then in the bounce back journey, we decided we need to do this together. Of course, it was not so easy. There were challenging moments in those years when, at the age of 44, 45, where you should be actually thriving, you find yourself completely in the wrong end of the stick, and you're questioning yourself. There's bound to be some times when the both of you get into frictional, discussions. Yet we always used to focus on where do you need to go, the vision, and we used to always get along in terms of focusing on that journey once again. Now, when I say backbone and when I say the support, um, of course, she used to have that fear more than me in terms of how are we actually going to come out of this. And I used to always get her to work on that fear and have faith and focus on the vision of bouncing back. We used to say affirmations at night when we used to go to bed and in the morning, every day, morning and evening, as a couple. Now, coming back in 2000, coming further ahead in 2018, she herself transformed her life, her health, from being completely obese to a very fit and healthy person. And that triggered in her the thought, if I can do it, I can help others do it. And she, like, we had a discussion where she expressed that I want to follow this passion. I said, yes, go, just follow that. And somewhere down the line, we found that she is working on the body and I'm working on the mind. So the mind and body, we kind of complete a person's journey by helping them with the mind and the body. So this idea came of why not work on a vision of being the power couple. So we could even help couples out there to take charge of their lives, bring harmony in their lives, and become successful, have a vision, and work towards that. So these kind of ideas are in our mind, so to kind of come up with and work towards. So that's the whole thing.
Well, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure hearing all your stories tonight, Sridhar, and I think an amazing way to end. I mean, you're obviously incredibly passionate, and your wife is as well, and making an impact and just helping others. So I'm incredibly fortunate to know and hear your stories, and I look forward to seeing your successes and many other successes that you work with over the years. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you enjoyed it. Before we go, I'd love to kind of just let everyone kind of know, how can people get in touch with you, whether in the group or if they're listening on iTunes. How do people reach out to you and stay connected?
So I am V Sridhar. That's my handle. They can find me in LinkedIn. They can find me in Facebook. They can reach out to me in the FTEN X Academy by just tagging me, or reach out to me through you. And most of the people, they shy away from reaching out, thinking that if I reach out, is there a cost involved, or I don't know if someone will sell me something. There's no cost involved in reaching out to people. If you are in need of any help, if you need any guidance, just feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to guide you. And if anyone is interested in joining the 5 a.m. club, also is welcome. If you are not, you can spread the word, let people know that there's something like this. And who knows, you may be the point of light in people's life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sridhar, thank you so much. Have an amazing evening, and we look forward to having you back again in the academy soon. Guys, as Sridhar mentioned, please feel free to tag him if you have anything else. Some amazing takeaways today. The 5 a.m. club, everything's centered. I mean, The Secret, I'm going to rewatch it. You sparked interest in me to kind of bring that back into my life. I'm definitely going to do a vision board, focus on relationships, some really massive takeaways here. So guys, if you're joining a little bit late, 100% recommend you go back to the beginning, start fresh, and listen to the whole story, because Sridhar's got some amazing things to say. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you again soon, mate.
Thank you very much, Tim, and thank you for everyone who was there watching it live, and those who will be watching it later. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Take care.